Welcome to Beyond Death, where we examine near-death experiences from people who claim they have died and visited the other side. What had happened was, as I was creating Toadie's near-death experience video for the channel, I was about halfway through when I realized this kept getting stranger. And stranger, to be honest. Even I don't believe this one, however, I was already too far into the creation process to start over, so it was either no video today or proceed with this. This NDE in no way reflects on the beliefs of this channel. If you are easily offended, please do not watch this video. I'm going to tell you something that will shake everything you think you know about life and death. And I need you to hear every word, because what happened to me on March 15th, 2023, changed not just my existence, but revealed a truth about reality that humanity desperately needs to understand before it's too late. I died that night clinically, completely, irreversibly died for 17 minutes on an operating table at St. Michael's Hospital after a catastrophic car accident tore through my chest and stopped my heart. And what I experienced in those 17 minutes has haunted and blessed me every single day since. Because I didn't just slip into darkness or nothingness like I'd always imagined death would be. Instead, the moment my heart stopped, I felt a violent separation. Like my soul was being ripped from my body through my chest with a force that was both terrifying and exhilarating. And suddenly, I was floating above the operating room, watching doctors frantically pump my chest, watching my own blood-soaked body convulse under their hands. And I remember thinking with crystal clarity, that's me down there. I'm dead. This is really happening. But there was no panic anymore. Only a strange detachment and a growing awareness that I was more alive in that moment than I had ever been in my entire 38 years of physical existence. The hospital room began to fade, the sounds of the heart monitors flatline, and the doctor's desperate shouts dissolved into a profound silence that wasn't empty but full, pregnant with presence. And then I was moving. Not walking, but being pulled backward through a tunnel that wasn't dark like people always describe, but shimmering with colors I'd never seen before. Colors that don't exist in our spectrum. Colors that had sound and emotion embedded in them. And the speed was impossible. Accelerating beyond anything physical, beyond light itself. And I could feel the weight of my earthly life falling away like chains I didn't know I was wearing. The mortgage payments, the arguments with my wife, the jealousy I harbored toward my brother, the lies I'd told, the person I'd hurt in college and never apologized to. Every single moment of my life was suddenly exposed, and I was carrying it all with me like a heavy tapestry woven from my choices. The tunnel opened into a space that defies description because human language wasn't built to capture what I saw. It was vast beyond comprehension, infinite yet intimate, and there was light everywhere. But not light like the sun or a lamp. This light was alive, conscious, intelligent, and it radiated a love so pure and overwhelming that I collapsed under its weight. Not physically, because I had no body anymore, but my soul. My very essence crumpled in the presence of this magnificent, terrifying, all-knowing love that saw every part of me. Every secret sin, every hateful thought, every moment of selfishness, and yet still embraced me without condition. I wept without tears, screamed without voice, because the contrast between this perfect love and the life I'd lived was unbearable. I had wasted so much time on meaningless things, harbored so much darkness in my heart, and now standing before this divine presence, I saw myself as I truly was, and it was both beautiful and horrifying. Then they came the angels, or beings of light. I don't know what else to call them. Tall, radiant figures that seemed to be made of living crystal and flame. Their faces both familiar and foreign, ancient beyond measure yet somehow young. And they didn't speak with words, but with direct transmission of thought and feeling. And they showed me things, lifted the veil on reality itself. And I understood in that moment that everything we think matters in life, all our petty concerns and earthly ambitions, are shadows compared to the real substance of existence, that we are eternal beings having a temporary human experience, not the other way around, and that every choice we make, every word we speak, every thought we think creates ripples in the fabric of reality that echo into eternity. One of the beings, the one that felt most like a guardian, someone who had been with me my entire life, though I'd never perceived them, took me to what I can only describe as a hall of reflection. And there I witnessed my life played out not from my perspective, but from the perspective of everyone I'd ever interacted with. I felt my mother's heartbreak when I screamed that I hated her during my teenage years. Felt the crushing rejection my high school girlfriend experienced when I cheated on her and lied about it. Felt the quiet desperation of the homeless man I'd walked past every day for 2 years without ever acknowledging his humanity. And the cumulative weight of all that pain I'd caused, even unknowingly, even unintentionally, crushed me in a way that physical death never could. But there was more. I also felt every moment of love I'd given, every act of kindness, no matter how small. And I saw how a smile I'd given to a stranger on a subway platform in 2014 had prevented her from going home and ending her life that night. How a $5 tip I'd left for a struggling waitress had been the exact amount she needed for her daughter's medication. How the tiniest acts of genuine compassion had created cascading waves of light that touched hundreds of lives I'd never know about. And I realized that we are all so much more powerful than we understand, that we are constantly creating or destroying, healing or wounding, and most of us move through life completely unconscious of the magnitude of our impact. The being then showed me something that still makes my hands shake when I think about it. They showed me the earth from a distance, beautiful and blue and fragile, and I could see threads of light connecting every human being, a vast web of luminous connections that pulsed with energy. And where there was love, compassion, truth, the threads glowed brilliantly. But where there was hatred, violence, deception, the threads turned dark and festered like wounds in the fabric of reality itself. And I was shown that humanity is at a critical threshold, that the darkness is spreading faster than ever before, that we are poisoning not just our planet, but the spiritual atmosphere around it, filling it with our rage and fear and selfishness. And if we don't wake up, if we don't remember who we truly are and why we're here, we will face consequences far beyond physical death, a kind of spiritual catastrophe that will echo for generations. I was shown visions of possible futures, timelines branching out like tree roots, some leading to awakening and transformation, and a civilization built on love and unity consciousness, others leading to destruction. Not from some external judgment or divine punishment, but from our own choices, our own collective consciousness manifesting into reality. Because we are creators, every single one of us, made in the image of the divine, and what we create with our thoughts, words, and actions becomes the world we inhabit. Then the being asked me a question that shattered whatever remained of my old understanding. Did you learn to love? Not did you accumulate wealth, not did you achieve success, not did you win arguments or prove yourself right, but did you love, truly love, selflessly love? And in that moment, I realized that this is the only question that matters, the only thing we take with us when we die, the only currency that has value in eternity. I was shown a vision of what humans call hell, and it wasn't a place of fire and demons like religious paintings depict, but something far more terrible. It was a state of complete separation from love, from God, from the divine source, a place where souls who had chosen darkness over light, self over service, ego over surrender, existed in a prison of their own making, tormented not by external punishment, but by the natural consequences of their choices, by the unbearable weight of their own guilt and shame and the full awareness of the suffering they'd caused. And I understood that hell is not where God sends people, but where people send themselves by refusing love, by refusing to forgive, by refusing to let go of hatred and resentment. And the worst part was that even there, even in that place of profound separation, God's love was still present, still calling, still offering a way back. But many souls were so hardened, so identified with their darkness, that they couldn't perceive it anymore. I was also shown glimpses of heaven, of realms so beautiful and harmonious that my human mind couldn't fully process them. Dimensions where beings of light lived in perfect unity, creating with thought, moving with intention, serving with joy. And I understood that these weren't places we go to as a reward, but states of consciousness we grow into through the choices we make, through the purification of our hearts, through the expansion of our capacity to love, and that the afterlife isn't some static eternal vacation, but a continuation of growth, learning, evolution, that we are always becoming, always expanding, always being called higher into greater expressions of love and consciousness. The being told me things I'm still not sure I'm allowed to share. Secrets about the nature of reality, about other dimensions that exist parallel to ours, about the role of suffering in spiritual growth, about the illusion of separation and the truth of oneness, about time being simultaneous rather than linear, about our souls having lived many lives and carrying wisdom from experiences we don't consciously remember. And each revelation was like a door, opening in my mind, expanding my understanding, showing me that the materialistic worldview our culture promotes is a tiny fragment of a much larger, more mysterious, more magnificent truth. Then, without warning, everything changed. The light began to dim. The being stepped back, and I felt a pulling sensation, an urgent tugging back toward my body, and I didn't want to go. I begged to stay, because even though I'd been shown difficult truths, even though I'd faced the darkness in my own soul, being in that place of perfect love was worth everything. And the thought of returning to the limited, painful, dense reality of physical existence felt like a punishment. The guardian being placed what felt like a hand on my shoulder, though I had no shoulder, and it had no hand, and communicated directly into my consciousness. Your work is not finished. You have more to give, more to learn, more to love, and you must return and tell others what you've seen. You must be a voice crying out in the wilderness, warning humanity to wake up, to choose love over fear, to choose unity over division, to choose truth over comfort, because time is running out and the window of opportunity for transformation is closing. Then I was being pulled backward through the tunnel again, this time against my will, screaming and fighting and desperately trying to hold on to the light. But the force was irresistible, and suddenly I slammed back into my body with such violence that I gasped and arched off the operating table. And the first thing I felt was pain, excruciating physical pain in my chest where they'd been doing compressions. And the first thing I heard was a doctor shouting, "We've got a pulse. We've got him back." And the first thing I thought was no. I want to go back, but I was trapped again in this heavy, limited, flesh and blood body, trapped in time and space and all the constraints of physical reality. The weeks that followed were the darkest of my life, because I was grieving the loss of that perfect love, grieving my return to this broken world, grieving the person I used to be, because I couldn't go back to living the unconscious, selfish, small life I'd been living before. Everything had changed. I had changed, fundamentally and irreversibly changed. I tried to tell people what happened, my wife, my doctors, my friends, but most of them looked at me with pity or skepticism, attributing it to oxygen deprivation or hallucination or trauma. And their disbelief only deepened my isolation, because I had seen ultimate reality. I had stood in the presence of God, and now I was surrounded by people who thought the most important thing in life was their retirement account or their social media, followers, or winning political arguments. And the disconnect was unbearable. But slowly, gradually, I began to understand that this was part of my mission, to live in this world but not be of it, to carry the light I'd experienced into the darkness, to be a living reminder that there is more to existence than what we can see and touch and measure. And I started making changes, radical changes that confused and sometimes upset the people around me. I quit my corporate job that had paid well but hollowed out my soul. I started volunteering at the homeless shelter and actually looking into the eyes of people's society, had discarded and seeing the divine spark in each of them. I reached out to everyone I'd wronged and made amends even when it was humiliating and painful. I began meditating and praying and studying spiritual texts from every tradition, and I started having experiences, moments where the veil would thin, and I could sense the presence of those beings of light still with me, still guiding me, and I understood that they had always been there. I had just been too distracted, too numb, too identified with my ego to perceive them. The most important change was in how I treated people, every person. Every single person I encountered became sacred to me because I had seen the truth that we are all connected, all part of the same divine consciousness temporarily experiencing itself as separate individuals, and that when I harm another, I harm myself. When I love another, I love myself. And this isn't just nice spiritual philosophy, it's literal truth. We are one being looking at itself through billions of different eyes. I started speaking about my experience publicly, despite my fear of judgment and ridicule, because the beings had told me to share this message. And I knew that if my story could wake up even one person, could help even one person choose love over fear, could prevent even one soul from the tragedy of living a whole life without ever truly loving or being loved, then my death and return would have meaning. What I need you to understand, what I'm begging you to hear, is that death is not the end, it's a doorway. And what we do in this life matters more than we can possibly imagine. Every choice, every thought, every word creates ripples in eternity. And we will all face that moment, that reflection, that reckoning where we see ourselves as we truly are and feel the full impact of our lives. And the question we will be asked is not what did you accomplish or accumulate, but did you love? Did you learn to love beyond your fear and pain and ego? Did you choose compassion over judgment, forgiveness over resentment, truth over comfort, unity over division? The world is at a breaking point right now. I can feel it. The same way I could feel the approach of that tunnel of light. And humanity is being given a choice. We can continue down the path of separation, hatred, materialism, and environmental destruction, and face catastrophic consequences, both physical and spiritual. Or we can choose differently. We can choose to remember who we truly are. Divine beings having a human experience, eternally connected to each other and to the source of all creation, and begin building a world that reflects heaven rather than hell. A world founded on love, compassion, justice, and reverence for all life. This isn't religious dogma or New Age fantasy. This is what I saw, what I experienced, what I know to be true with every fiber of my being. And I'm running out of time. We're all running out of time because our choices today are determining the timeline we're moving toward. And I've seen both possibilities. I've seen the horror of a world that chooses darkness and the glory of a world that chooses light. And the difference between them is us. Our choices right now, in this moment and every moment. Since my return, I've also been shown that I'm not alone, that there are thousands, maybe millions of people around the world who have had similar experiences, who have died and come back with the same message. And this isn't coincidence. This is divine intervention. A last desperate attempt by the universe itself to wake humanity up before it's too late. And whether you believe my story or not, whether you think I'm crazy or delusional or telling the truth, I'm asking you to consider the possibility, to open your mind and heart to the idea that there is more to this existence than you've been taught, and to ask yourself the only question that ultimately matters. Am I living with love? Am I choosing compassion? Am I becoming more conscious and kind and connected? Or am I sleepwalking through life, numb and distracted and unconscious, wasting this precious gift of incarnation on trivial pursuits while my soul starves and the world burns around me? I died on March 15th, 2023, and what I found on the other side was not darkness or nothingness, or even what I expected from my religious upbringing, but a love beyond comprehension, a reality beyond imagination, and a truth that has transformed everything we are eternal. We are connected, we are loved beyond measure, and we are being called to wake up, to remember, to choose love over fear, because the time for comfortable illusions is over. The time for authentic transformation is now. And I pray with everything in me that you hear this message before you have to learn it the way I did, on an operating table with your heart stopped and your soul ripped from your body, forced to confront the truth of your existence when it's too late to make different choices. Because that moment is coming for all of us. Death waits for no one. And the only thing that will matter when you face that light, when you stand before that presence, when you review your life and feel the weight of your choices, is whether you loved, truly loved, completely loved, selflessly loved. And if the answer is no, then I beg you, start now, start today, start this moment. Because this life is not a rehearsal, this is it. This is your one chance in this particular body, in this particular time, to make a difference, to choose light over darkness, to become the person your soul came here to be. And I promise you, I swear to you on everything I experienced in those 17 minutes of death, that love is the only thing that's real, the only thing that lasts, the only thing that matters. And every moment you spend not loving is a moment wasted, a gift squandered, an opportunity lost forever.